Looking to find out what's happening on the NDSU campus? Watch Bison Information Network News every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on Cable 1 Channel 70. This student-run weekly newscast covers relevant news and current events, entertainment, Bison sports, and more. Watch BIN News Fridays at 9 p.m., Saturdays at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m., and Sundays at 9 a.m. on Cable 1 Channel 70.
Bison Information Network News is brought to you in partnership with Cable 1.
Welcome to Bison Information Network News. I'm Joe Thompson.
And I'm Tristan Dakota. It's finally here. The American public can now read most of the special counsel's findings into Russia's role in the 2016 presidential election. The more than 400-page report from Robert Mueller contains some redactions, but there are major takeaways. Kristen Holmes has the details and reaction to the Mueller report.
Sponsored efforts to illegally interfere with the 2016 presidential election, but did not find that the Trump campaign or other Americans colluded in those efforts.
Special counsel Robert Mueller's partially redacted report noting the Trump campaign showed interest in emails stolen from Democrats by Russians meant to hurt Hillary Clinton, but found no evidence of a crime.
That is something that all Americans can and should be grateful to have confirmed.
On the question of obstruction of justice, Mueller is less clear. His report identifying 10 instances where the president or his aides may have attempted to curtail the investigation, including firing former FBI Director James Comey.
The evidence developed by the special counsel is not sufficient to establish that the president committed an obstruction of justice offense.
According to the report, once the president found out about Mueller's appointment, he said, quote, "This is the end of my presidency."
That was not the reaction of the president that day when I was there.
Today, just moments after the report's release, Trump claimed victory.
No collusion, no obstruction.
Congressional Democrats wanting more answers, calling on Mueller to testify publicly.
The special counsel made clear that he did not exonerate the president, and the responsibility now falls to Congress to hold the president accountable for his actions.
In Washington, I'm Kristen Holmes reporting.
An NDSU student has been selected as a Truman Scholar for the second straight academic year as senior William Fleck earned the award. Fleck, a computer science major, is one of only 62 students across the country to receive this honor. Award recipients receive a $30,000 scholarship to be used for graduate school and also get an opportunity to attend professional development programs. Fleck is the third NDSU student to earn the award in the last 6 years and will be honored at the Harry S. Truman Presidential Library and Museum in Independence, Missouri on May 26th.
NDSU will not hold classes this Friday and upcoming Monday due to its annual spring recess. Students living in residence halls are not forced to leave their buildings, and campus dining centers will be under normal weekend operating hours. Resident Dining Center will be the only dining center open during this time. Union Dining Center will reopen on Tuesday. Faculty offices will be closed on Friday but will reopen on Monday at their normal times. Students will have only 9 days of classes and faculty office availability after the recess before finals week, which begins May 6th.
The NDSU National Agro Marketing Association team won the Agro Marketing Conference National Championship last weekend. The event took place April 8th through the 12th in Kansas City, Missouri, and typically includes 30 to 35 different schools. The competition helps students gain practical marketing and research experience while meeting business professionals in the industry. This year, teams were required to take a new product idea and write a 5-page marketing plan. For NDSU, they created an oat milk ice cream called North Dakota Nice Cream. Over the last 6 years, the team finished as high as 3rd place and as low as 6th place.
Now let's send it over to Noah Smith for our weekend weather update.
What do you have for us, Noah?
Thanks, guys. We're going to look at today's weather here. We have a high of 51, and tonight we're going to hit a low of 35 possibly. Precipitation is about 10% with humidity at 61%. Winds are looking at about 11 miles an hour right now. We'll take a look at the 7-day forecast here. Friday, tomorrow, highs of 61, so we're going to get a little bit warmer, low of 38. 72 on Saturday and 50 as the low. Sunday is gonna warm up some more, 62 as the high and 44 as the low. Monday through Wednesday, we're gonna get a little bit of rain here, staying in the 60s, 62, 40, 60, 40, 63, 45. And Thursday, we're gonna get some more sun, 68 and 49. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Noah. Coming up, the NDSU Steel Bridge team heads for another national title in the 800 Cafes Spring into Summer event.
We'll be right back.
Academy Award-winning documentarian Frederick Wiseman will be visiting Fargo next week. This two-day event, hosted by the Fargo Theater and Minnesota State University Moorhead, will focus on Wiseman's 1967 film, Titty Cut Follies. On Friday, April 26th, the film will be screened for free, followed by a Q&A with Wiseman at the Fargo Theater. On Saturday, MSUM's Hanson's Theater will host the ballet version of the film. Titty Cut Follies investigates the Bridgewater State Hospital in Massachusetts with a fly-on-the-wall approach detailing the experiences of its criminally insane patients. Events on both nights will start at 7:30 p.m. Tickets for the ballet can be purchased at the MSUM box office or online at www.medstate.edu/perform.
The NDSU Steel Bridge team is heading to the AISC Student Steel Bridge Competition National Finals. The 10-person team placed first in regional tournament in Brookings, South Dakota to reach the championship yet again. The challenge is to design and build a 22-foot steel bridge that can support 2,500 pounds without bending more than a few inches. The team has won the overall championship 6 times since they were formed, last winning it in 2010. While they already have the record for most national championship wins since the competition began, they are looking forward for the opportunity to bring another championship back home. The national finals will be held from May 31st to June 1st at Southern Illinois University.
A panel of experts and scholars gathered in the Century Theater today to discuss issues affecting North Dakota's indigenous communities. The event, hosted by the Northern Plains Ethics Institute, addressed ethical issues affecting Native American communities. Issues discussed included cultural appropriation, racism, and discrimination, and systematic oppression. Some questions raised during the conversation were, how did we get here, and what is the difference between appropriation and genuine appreciation? The panel is a part of an ongoing program by the Northern Plains Ethics Institute. Their mission is to promote democratic participation in social and ethical issues in the Northern Plains and beyond, and the panels are a great way to encourage engagement with the Institute.
Come to you and present and talk and own what we just did, that's great. But to come here and take notes on what we did and leave is not going to help us with our mission of growth.
We can create those great dialogues where information is exchanged and nobody has to be offended or on guard or something when there's that mutual trust and respect there.
Our language, sometimes a lot of interpreters.
Major panels of the series will focus on violent crime and premature death, homelessness, health and poverty, including stress, food deserts, opioid addiction, and traditional healers. More information about the Ethics Institute can be found at www.plainsethics.com.
The Center for Writers hosted its 11th Writers Workshop of the semester yesterday. This session focused on paraphrasing and synthesis and summary within academic written work and making the distinction between the two. The workshop served to help graduate students understand concepts in writing skills, with previous sessions discussing topics like first drafts, literature reviews, and common grammar mistakes. A select handful of workshops are also geared toward faculty with topics such as creating rubrics and providing feedback to students. The distinctions between paraphrasing and synthesis are described by the selection of small chunk of text versus an entire text itself.
You know, us faculty, we just assume that students know the difference between this. And in the graduate situation, the paraphrasing and summarizing are two activities, writing activities that they're going to be doing a lot. It's hard if they don't have an idea of what the difference is. So coming, I think, you know, gives practice, but it also really spells out some basic understanding.
The final workshop of the semester will be Wednesday, April 24th from 12:30 to 1:30. The topic will be avoiding plagiarism. Students need to register by emailing Christina.Caton@ndsu.edu.
NDSU's 800 Cafe is getting ready to host its Spring into Summer meal on Thursday, May 2nd at the Catherine K. Burgum Family Life Center in room 212.
Seating is set to start at 11 a.m. and will end at 12:15. The 800 Cafe will serve a variety of meals, starting with a salad and rigatoni pasta with mushrooms, before handing out a lemon sorbet with fresh raspberries and a slice of lemon. The Spring to Summer meal is $10 a person with beverages. Payment must be in the form of cash or check at the door. Reservations are preferred, but walk-ins are welcomed as well. After the break, a look at KNDS Block Party and what it takes to break a bad habit.
We'll be right back. NDSU student radio station 96.3 KNDS will be hosting its 15th annual Block Party on Saturday, May 4th in downtown Fargo. The event will take place at the Aquarium located at 226 Broadway, above Dempsey's Public House, with doors opening at 6 p.m. and showtime scheduled for 7 p.m. Headlining the event will be Night Moves, a Minneapolis-based group formed in 2009 by John Pellant and Mickey Alfaro. The Block Party is open to all ages, and tickets can be purchased for $15 at the door or online at www.ticketweb.com with the keyword KNDS.
Ask anyone who has ever tried to break a bad habit, and they'll tell you it's easier said than done. But today's Health Minute explains why that doesn't have to be the case. CNN's Reed Binion reports.
Whether it's giving up smoking or junk food, there's at least one bad habit that most people would love to break, or at least have made countless attempts to break. Because habits can influence our behavior, they can be leveraged for positive change, but they can also hold back progress. A great rule of thumb, however, is to replace a bad habit with a better one. And one is often the inverse of the other, which can work in your favor, like eating clean is eating less junk and working out is being less sedentary. If you're wondering how long it takes to convert a bad habit into a good one, according to researchers from University College of London, on average, it takes a little over 2 months, and in some cases, even longer. So hang in there, and if you're worried about falling off the wagon, be mindful of what triggers those bad habits. You don't want to sabotage all your hard work. For today's Health Minute, I'm Reed Binion.
Whether it's paying a family member your portion of the phone bill or splitting the bill on Taco Tuesday, chances are you've used peer-to-peer payment apps like Venmo and Zelle.
In fact, 76 million people use them. But which ones are the best and safest to use? In today's Consumer Watch, Kim Hutcherson has a closer look.
Your smartphone is replacing your wallet. Mobile payment apps like Venmo, Zelle, and the Cash App are quickly replacing cash when it comes to paying friends and family. All three allow you to link up your bank account, type in a dollar amount, and send the money fast. The biggest difference is that Venmo is the only one that lets you get social. You can post about your transactions and interact with others. Zelle is setting itself apart by going after older users. The service is already built into many mobile banking apps like Wells Fargo and Bank of America. Zelle also puts that cash into your recipient's bank account instantly. On the Venmo app, instant payments cost 25 cents, and you must have a Visa or MasterCard. Instant deposits on the Cash App will cost you 1.5% of the total amount you're trying to send. Consumer Reports recently rated all three apps secure to use. They recommend you follow these 3 tips for the best experience and to reduce your risk. Number 1, opt in to extra security. Take those extra seconds and set up protections like a PIN and features that require a special code to confirm payments. Number 2, keep your app up to date. If you have the old version, you're missing the latest security protections. And number 3, it may sound obvious, but only send money to people you know. For Consumer Watch, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
After the break, Isaac Dieneson has sports for us.
What do you have for us today, Isaac?
Well, the Bison softball team opened up their new home last weekend with a pretty long winning streak, and then we also have an update on who the potential head coach could be for the NDSU women's basketball program. We'll have that and more for you when we come back. On Sunday, the NDSU softball team had its regular season home opener against South Dakota State, officially christening Thurlston Park, and did so with a bang. Coming in with a program record 18-game winning streak and an undefeated conference record on the line, senior pitcher KK Letty made history. With a strikeout of South Dakota State's Megan Rushing, Letty finished off the first no-hitter of her Bison career. It was the 31st pitching performance of its kind in school history as she scattered 3 walks in a 5-0 Bison victory. The team scored all of its runs in the bottom of the 6th inning, extending their winning streak to 19 games. NDSU would win the second game of Sunday's doubleheader 1-0 behind freshman Paige Vargas's 3rd complete game shutout of the season to run the streak to 20. Prior to Monday's series finale, Letty was yet again named Summit League Pitcher of the Week, earning the award for the 4th time. Letty started the series finale but would not finish it as the Jackrabbits used a 5-run 6th inning to take down the Bison 6-2 with all runs charged to Letty. NDSU is now 30-12 on the season and 8-1 in conference play, with an important road series incoming this weekend against South Dakota, who also has 1 loss in Summit League play. Following a 3-game sweep of the last-place Purdue-Fort Wayne Mastodons the previous weekend and a hard-fought walk-off loss to Minnesota earlier in the week, the NDSU baseball team had a chance to earn another series victory against South Dakota State last weekend. The games had to be played in Omaha, Nebraska due to expected weather conditions in Brookings. The Bison and Jackrabbits split a doubleheader on Saturday, with the Jackrabbits taking the first game 5-2 and the Bison winning the second game 6-2. NDSU scored first in the opening game before allowing 4 unanswered runs and scored the first 6 runs of the second game, chasing South Dakota State starter Ryan Froome after an inning and a third. In the series finale, Peter Brookshaw's sacrifice fly in the 9th inning gave the Bison a 7-5 lead, but the Jackrabbits would respond with a game-tying 2-run home run by Josh Falk to send the game to extra innings. NDSU would come right back with a 2-run home run by Jace McLean, but a game-winning single by Braden Brown capped off a 3-run rally in the bottom of the 10th as South Dakota State sent NDSU to its 5th walk-off loss of the season. The Bison will host a conference series this weekend, but will do so on the campus of Concordia Moorhead due to field conditions at Newman Outdoor Field. They'll play against Oral Roberts beginning this Friday at 2 p.m. before their first game of the season in Fargo, scheduled for this Tuesday at 6:30. In basketball news, per a release earlier this month, 3 of the possible 10 members of the Summit League All-Academic team are Bison, the most of any university in the conference. Representing the NDSU men's team for this distinction are sophomore forward Rocky Cruiser and junior guard Jared Samuelson. This is the 5th consecutive year for the Bison to have multiple selections to the All-Academic team in men's basketball. Also, sophomore guard Michelle Geislerova was named to the women's team, becoming just the 2nd Bison representative on the team in school history. NDSU's 3 selections topped 3 other universities who each had 2 representatives between the men's and women's teams. The NDSU women's basketball program is down to 4 potential candidates for its vacant head coaching position, according to a report by the Fargo Forum today. All 4 reported candidates are current assistants at the Division I level. The prospects are Denver assistant Kayla Ard, Kansas assistant Jory Collins, Nebraska assistant Chuck Love, and Drake assistant Allison Pullman. The new coach would be joining a conference that sent 2 teams to the NCAA tournament and a program that reportedly has a higher budget than most mid-majors. NDSU and former coach Marin Walseth mutually agreed to part ways on March 11th after 5 seasons with the program. Last Wednesday, the National Hockey League started the first round of its playoffs, and already 2 series have been decided. One of those 2 series includes Moorhead native Matt Cullen's Pittsburgh Penguins, who were swept in 4 games by the New York Islanders. The other series currently wrapped up saw the Tampa Bay Lightning, the best team in the league, by 21 points during the regular season. They were also swept by the Columbus Blue Jackets, the first playoff series win in its history. As for the rest of the field, last year's teams that met in the Stanley Cup Finals, the Washington Capitals and Vegas Golden Knights, hold leads in their respective series. Elsewhere, Nashville and Dallas are tied at 2 wins apiece, as are 2 other series, while the Colorado Avalanche have a 3-1 series lead over the Calgary Flames, the Western Conference's top seed. The NHL's first round will run until next Wednesday, April 24th at the latest. And finally, last weekend, the NBA's playoffs also kicked off with some largely unexpected results in their first round. Most notably from the league's Eastern Conference, the first day featured the Brooklyn Nets upsetting the Philadelphia 76ers and the Toronto Raptors falling to the Orlando Magic. Both series have since seen the higher seeds win Game 2. In the Western Conference, the San Antonio Spurs and Denver Nuggets split their first 2 games, as did the Los Angeles Clippers and 2-time defending champion Golden State Warriors. Milwaukee, Boston, Portland, and Houston all won the first 2 games on their home floors. The first round will continue until next Sunday, April 28th. at the latest. And if you want to hear Joe and I here talk a little bit more about the NBA playoffs and the NHL playoffs, you can check out our most recent episode of X's and O's on our YouTube channel, or also airing right here on Bison Information Network.
Thanks so much, Isaac. Coming up after the break, we'll have to tell you a historic father-son duo in West Virginia.
We'll be right back.
A relaxing father and son fishing trip turned into anything but relaxing once they came across a small black bear that needed help.
WHSV's Alex Flum has more.
For father and son Darren and Eli Barkley of Broadway, it was a normal fishing trip in West Virginia.
So basically, we just got done fishing as we were walking up the riverbank.
Until Eli noticed something, a small bear on the side of the Williams River.
We were really worried about him. The bear looked very wore out, and it just didn't look right.
The Barkleys called forest rangers, and bear caretaker Joel Rosenthal came to help.
Jumped out of my vehicle. I have equipment to sedate it, but the little bear jumped into the water.
That's when Eli jumped in to help.
He then got out in the current, and as soon as his head went under, I guess it was just natural instinct. I mean, I didn't say nothing to nobody. I just sprung out into the water and kind of went for a pretty big swim.
Eli saved the bear, and Joel was able to sedate it, bringing it back to his farm.
The bear, which I named William.
We'll be keeping updates with Joel and this bear named William now. Williams River, so it's pretty cool.
A once-in-a-lifetime experience for the Barkleys.
Definitely being in the wildlife years, growing up with my dad. I mean, it was pretty cool.
I'm very proud, very proud. He did the right thing.
And a new lease on life for William. Alex Flum, WHSV.
Thank you for watching this edition of Bison Information Network News.
Be sure to check us out on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel.
And catch us back here next Thursday night. Have a great night, everyone.